Welcome back to PowerWash Simulator. You might notice I've done a little bit since the previous episode, and I did record another episode, but I really didn't like the way it turned out, and the audio was kind of weird, so all you need to know is I finished this area, and I started working on this area over here. The plan for today is to PowerWash, obviously, and then I'm gonna kind of go into detail about where I've been, because it's probably no secret. I haven't been posting very regularly, and I've been missing some uploads. If you go to the About page on my channel, you'll notice I say very specifically I upload on Mondays and Fridays. Guess what hasn't happened? I'll explain why. Before I do, the only relevant thing that happened in the episode that never got uploaded is the dude who's texting us. What is him? Winston Smith. The only thing I noticed is that's the same name as the guy from 1984, the main character, and I only remembered that because I read the book like a couple months ago. So I find that interesting, but that was the only notable thing that happened last episode. So where have I been? I would like to make a bunch of excuses for that, and I have some excuses. The first one being I was sick for a week, a couple weeks ago, and so that was basically the reason I couldn't upload anything. It's because I was sick. My throat hurt, my voice was just awful, so can't really film anything when, you're sick. Should I have notified you all that I was sick? Yeah, probably, but I can't go back and change that now. Second reason was just a flat-out lack of motivation. I was just kind of tired, and I didn't really have any motivation. I didn't really have any motivation to get anything done, so that's definitely on me. And just general laziness. I'd like to make excuses for that, but I have to be honest, it was just me being lazy. I had nothing filmed either, so it's not like, I just have to edit this video and boom, it's done. I didn't have anything filmed, and so until I started filming stuff again, which I did, I filmed videos now, as you can see from this one. I didn't have anything filmed, so there was nothing to edit. The only video that I had was the power wash video, but like I said, I didn't like the way it was, and I don't think the quality would be something I wanted to upload. And so that's kind of where I've been for the past couple weeks. And I did debate going back to a one. It's like, do I need to change it to one upload a week? But I decided against it because I do want to try and continue with 2 videos a week. And, okay, got that done. But I also don't want to burn myself out, assuming everything's gone to plan, and I can't because life likes to screw me over. But assuming this video gets uploaded on Wednesday, there is 2 more videos this week that I have left to upload. And I'm hoping... I filmed all the videos. I just have to film this one. But I have 4 videos ready to go that just need to be edited. So all the filming's done. I just have to actually edit them. And I hope this doesn't burn me out, because after this week I'm planning on going back to a normal schedule. And so I want to get a ladder over here. There we are. But assuming this all goes well, I'm hoping this doesn't burn me out. Theoretically, it shouldn't. It's just kind of me getting back into the norm after not really doing much for the past couple weeks. So I'm kind of getting back into the rhythm, back into the flow of how things ought to be. So I don't think it's too bad that I'm pushing myself a little harder than I normally would. And I feel like I need to repay all of you because, like I said, and like actually, you don't have to hear me say this, I haven't been uploading. And I feel really guilty about that, because I've promised something and I wasn't able to deliver it. Well, I was, but I didn't. And so, in return, more content. Sweet, delicious content. Which, I don't know why people watch this channel. But, I mean, I'm making stupid videos, so if people want to watch them, hey, it's their choice. That's kind of the main reasons of where I've been. But, I mean, I haven't just been in bed the whole time. I have been doing stuff, but it's all, like, personal stuff. Like, I celebrated a friend's birthday party, so that was cool. I went and did that, hang out with some friends, but it's been It's been interesting. I was definitely very tired, and it was just a lack of motivation. I don't know why. I think just coming off of being sick for a week, it really rocked my world. Oh, I found out I'm not as flexible of a person as I thought I was, and so I was kind of doing okay. And as soon no. Oh well, I'm oh there we go. That worked. Going back to what I was talking about though, as soon as my schedule was shaken up, my whole world kind of just got rocked, and it really surprised me of how badly it affected me because I didn't think it would affect me all that bad. It's like, oh, I'm sick for a week, I'll just go back and get back to it, when that's not what happened. And so I found I wasn't as flexible as I had led myself to believe, and things really got shaken up. And I don't know why there was just not a lack of motivation. I wasn't burnt out or anything from doing these videos. I love doing this. I think it's fun. I'm glad that people enjoy them. So I do enjoy this, and I'm not quitting YouTube by any means. I mean, I just started like October, a couple months ago. That would be pretty bad if I gave up this early. I don't know. It was just really weird, but hopefully I'm getting back into it, and I'll continue just to stay consistent to a schedule. You'll find this out about me. I procrastinate a lot. Always have. If I have to be honest, I think I get it from my dad, who's also a pretty. He's not a heavy procrastinator, but he does procrastinate. So I think I probably get it from him. Good old genes. But I had the specific, like, when I talk about my procrastination, one story comes to mind, and it was back in middle school when I was in a debate class. And when you're in a debate class, usually you're given, assuming it's like a researched debate and not just, oh, go up there and talk about a subject you know about, you usually are given time to write this. It's basically like writing an argumentative essay. You just have to go and talk about it in front of people. And you have to come up with counter arguments, usually on the spot. But I enjoyed that class. I found it fun. But we were given, I think it was around a week, was pretty standard to write this debate, maybe two, depending on how, like, the requirements for the debate. All I know is that I had plenty of time to get this done, and I didn't. I decided I don't know what I did. I guess I just kind of messed around. You put it, oh, I have 2 weeks to do it, I'll do it later, and then you don't, right? Next thing I know, it the debate is due tomorrow, and so I basically stay up all night, basically writing the entirety of my debate because I had maybe a few sentences typed into a Google Doc. So, yeah, I wrote basically an entire debate in one night, and we had this. I forget what it was called. It was like a weird like middle period between. I think it was between third and fourth, where you could just do homework, I guess, or you could, I don't know, do whatever. I forget what they called it. But it was like this weird middle class, and so basically, but it was shorter than normal. Normally classes, I don't know, maybe like an hour. This one was like half an hour, so it was significantly shorter. And so I wrote this debate at night, and then when I got to school, it was this weird class, and my debate period was the next period. So what I had to do was I had to print out my debate because they had to be printed, and I went into there was like I think it was just like a printer room, and because you have to do debates out loud and you're not supposed to look at your paper, you're supposed to look at the audience. I had to practice my debate in like 10-15 minutes. And what made it even more awkward was the choir kids came into the printer room too. I guess they were going to do something next period. I really don't know why they were there, but they were there. So I was basically performing this debate. I think it was about terrorism, but I was doing this debate. Maybe I might still have it. Maybe I can go and look for it to see if I still have it somewhere. But because I just have a big old box of like old school papers and stuff. But yeah, so I was just performing this debate while the choir kids were all sitting on like a bench listening to me because their teacher hadn't arrived yet. So it was just really awkward, but I did it. And I go and I tell my opponent, I basically wrote this debate all last night. I haven't practiced at all. And he's like, I'm literally in the same boat. Like, we both did the same exact thing. where we didn't work on it until the night before it was due. So that was pretty funny that we did literally the exact same thing. And my teacher always said a couple things. Fake it till you make it, I think, was the first one. And the second one was don't shoot yourself in the foot. Because what oftentimes happened is students would go up and they would like criticize it themselves and be like, oh, this is gonna suck, or sorry if this is bad. And my teacher was always like, don't shoot yourself in the foot, because then you're putting expectations in the audience mind, because your interactiveness with the way you interact with the audience and all that, and the way you present yourself is part of your grade. And so people would go up and shoot themselves in the foot and kind of sabotage their own. It's like, that's gonna hurt your grade. Don't do that. And so, of course, we didn't tell our teacher that we had done this until we finished the debate and our grades had been finalized. And so that was funny. I also found out later I'd pronounced a word wrong through the entire debate, but I faked it until I made it, and I made it because I mispronounced it, but I said it with confidence. So if I say things with confidence, then people still believe me. But I like telling a story because not only is it an example of my procrastination, but I got a better grade than my opponent, so it just shows, hey, procrastination works. Could you argue, well, he also procrastinated, so maybe he just is not as, he just did a worse job than you, and it actually doesn't prove that procrastination is good? Maybe. But stop disproving my point. Let me live my life. But yeah, I procrastinate quite a bit. It is a problem. But I like to say I productively procrastinate. Productive procrastination, where basically if you're not doing one thing, you're getting another thing done because you're avoiding doing the first task. So example, if, I have to have a video to edit and it's like, oh, I don't want to edit this video. Maybe I'll like clean my room or something. So I'm still getting something done. It's just I'm not getting the task I need to get done. If that makes any sense. Hello, Winston Smith. Surprisingly tough work exterior cleaning, isn't it? It's not too bad. Helps when you have the best washer in the game, as of yet. So it's time consuming, but it's not necessarily difficult. I got through 4 flannels on 1 brick alone. Oh, like flannel as in like clothing? I would assume. But yeah, Winston Smith, it's the name of the main character in 1984. I read that book a couple months ago. I expect you brought some Hyfangled Gizmo. Yeah, I have the best washer, like I said. 1984. I am a fan of Orwell. I think he was a great author, and I'm a big fan of his works. But my God, 1984 is so depressing. It has made me lose faith in the humanity. Well, no, I've already lost that. But it made me not feel good about the future and the way society is going. So that's always nice. So very depressing book, but a good book. I did enjoy it. Because it's weird, because it's one of those books where the good guys lose. That's spoilers. Uh-oh. Spoiler warning for 1984. I think I'll flash something on screen and I'll probably put when the spoiler's over. But spoiler warning, read the book for yourself. It's a good book. And you can be unlike most people. Instead of just saying, this is exactly like 1984, you can actually read 1984 and say, actually, and then be that annoying person. But either way, 1984, it's the good guys lose, basically, is the 2 main characters, Winston Smith and then Julia. I forget her last name, if her last name's ever given. But basically they are brainwashed and come to love Big Brother when they both had committed to fighting against it. So it's like more spoilers for Anne Frank's diary. She dies, and I have not read that her diary because I know she dies, and I know how sad it is, and so I've been avoiding reading it just because emotionally and mentally I don't know if I can handle it. But a lot of people read that and they don't know that she died, and so it comes as a shock to them when they read it because they're like, oh shoot, this is real. And it's like, yeah, it's depressing. So it's one of those things where it's like, oh, this sucks. This doesn't give me very much hope. But an interesting theory I've heard is that there's like a little. 1984 it gets so interesting because there's it was the theory and practice of collective like something or other, the basically the book by Emmanuel Goldstein that's banned. So it's a book inside of a book, and then at the end of the book there's like another like paper by some dude basically explaining all the principles of newspeak. And this guy, whoever he is, one, he talks in normal English, or not talks, but he writes in normal English, and he refers to Oceania. I think it's Oceania. I used to say Oceania, but I think it's just Oceania. At least that's the way I've heard other people say it. He refers to Oceania in a past tense. So like it was, or this is how it functioned, right? And so there's a theory that piece of literature is in the universe, and so the theory goes that eventually Oceania, sorry, or Big Brother eventually does fall, and humanity and freedom of thought and mind, that's like the same thing, but basically freedom endures, and Big Brother eventually does get overthrown, and life goes back to relatively normal. That's again just a theory, but if that's not true, damn, is 1984 depressing? But still, like I said, a good book. I've read 1984, and I've read Animal Farm. I want to read Homage to Catalonia because that goes through Orwell's involvement in the Spanish Civil War, and that the Spanish Civil War is something I think about quite often. I think I can say this for most people, that I really wish the Republicans would have won. For a little history lesson here, basically the Spanish Civil War was pre-World War II, where Spain erupted into civil war. So I'm coming to you from the future. I give a pretty bad description of the Spanish Civil War in these next couple minutes. So I'm just going to read you the Wikipedia article because it'll make a lot more sense coming from Wikipedia than whatever BS I spewed out of my mouth. The Spanish Civil War was a civil war in Spain fought from 1936 to 1939 between the Republicans and the Nationalists. Republicans were loyal to the left-leaning Popular Front government of the Second Spanish Republic and consisted of various socialist, communist, separatist, anarchist, and Republican parties, some of which had opposed the government in the pre-war period. The opposing Nationalists were an alliance of phalangists, monarchists, conservatives, and traditionalists led by a military junta, along whom General Francisco Franco quickly achieved a predominant role. Due to the international political climate at the time, the war had many facets and was variously viewed as class struggle, religious struggle, struggle between dictatorship and republican democracy, between revolution and counter-revolution, and between fascism and communism. According to Claude Bowers, U.S. ambassador to Spain during the war, it was a dress rehearsal for World War II. The Nationalists won the war, which ended in early 1939, and ruled Spain until Franco's death in November 1975. So, that's basically all you need to know. So, that's just for context, because, I don't know, I don't know what I was thinking at the time, but if you listen to my explanation, it's pretty bad. So, this is what it's actually about. If you listen to what I said, it's just going to be really confusing. So, there you go. I believe Homage to Catalonia kind of documents his experiences with that. And like all other works, it critiques Stalin. And so, that'll be interesting to see. Orwell was actually a socialist. People don't realize that, but his works not only his writings not only critique authoritarianism and totalitarianism in general, because Soviet Union, Nazi Germany, but it critiques Stalinism itself, because Orwell was actually a socialist, which a lot of people don't realize. So it's not just a general critique of communism. But I went really deep into the subject. I don't know. PowerWash Simulator allows you to go on these rants. But yeah, I read 1984 is basically the gist of it, and you should read it too. It's a good piece of literature. I don't know if it's considered a classic, but it's an important piece of literature, and you can draw whatever conclusions you want about it and what it has to do with today and the way society's going. The only other thing I'm going to say about it is just mentally prepare yourself, because it is definitely a more intense book. It's going pretty well. Like I said, the other episode of PowerWash Simulator, I've entered the wash zone, as I call it. I don't know, I thought that was just a fun name. I actually have a lot of fun with naming my videos. I remember, it's just fresh on my mind right now, but someone commented that they really enjoy the names of my videos. And so I do too. I think they're fun. And of course, it's like, oh, you're supposed to capture the audience's, attention. It's supposed to be, eye-catching and this and that. It's like, I don't know. I'm just having fun with it. I do wish, actually, I do want to do this potentially as like a career, because I enjoy it. If not this, somewhere in the entertainment industry. I've always enjoyed entertainment and making people laugh and stuff, but I just take a particular liking to making content. I've made a lot of stupid videos and skits with my friends, but I mean, who hasn't, I feel like a lot of people just messed around with their friends, made stupid videos, all that kind of stuff. But I enjoy it. I enjoy the filmmaking and the editing as well. That's another crucial part. I mean, if you enjoy the filmmaking, but you absolutely hate the editing, well, I mean, maybe this isn't the thing for you. Or you could always hire an editor, but that requires money, and it's a risk. So, I get that's not necessarily what everybody wants to do. But I don't know, I enjoy it. I mean, I don't know how far this channel will go. I can't foresee the future. I've seen success stories, and I've seen failures as well, so. But I think I'll be committed to it, and even if I get a different job, I mean, I don't know, I think this might still be just kind of like a side thing, but who knows where the road will take us. But maybe someday down the line I'll have like 100,000 subscribers, or heck, maybe even 1,000,000. That would probably be my dream, is to get to 1,000,000, just to be like, yeah, I did this kind of thing. Almost like it would be one of the few things in my life I could really look at and say I'm proud of that kind of thing. So, and then just entertaining people, and that's kind of why I'm doing this, is I enjoy entertainment. So, I mean, it's the barrier to entry is 0, so it's pretty easy. I'm just filming stupid videos on my $500 laptop. I don't even have a face cam yet. I'm planning on getting one, not anytime soon, but eventually I'll get a face cam, because just in terms of editing, it allows for such better comedic potential when you have a face, and you can just connect with the audience, I think, on a deeper level. And of course, there's YouTube channels that don't have that. People, of course, use the, you can't see my face, as almost like a persona in itself, and I'm sure those of you know who I'm talking about. But there's other YouTube channels that don't do that, and they just don't have a face cam for, I don't know, whatever reason. So, but eventually I do want to get one, but also a good face cam requires money, and also it would make editing probably take twice as long, but I just have to plan out my week better. So, but eventually a face cam. And also, speaking of upgrading equipment, I've been saving up money, and I'm gonna work with a friend on getting like an actual PC, like a good computer with good stuff in it. I don't know. I'm not a very computer like tech person, so I don't know all the terms, but basically all you need to know is hopefully sometime in the near future I'm going to get a good computer, which means that video quality hopefully will go up. At least it'll open up the doorway for better quality videos. It won't be as laggy. I can turn up the settings all the way up, hopefully, whenever that happens. Because as of right now, I have to turn graphics quality basically all the way down. And just because with the screen capture, that's the best I can get in terms of, because I don't want these videos to be really laggy. I want it to be smooth. But at the same time, it's like, well, I don't want, my game to be 240p. So, it's kind of, I'm doing the best I can right now, but hopefully in the future, I will be able to open the door to better games. Because I have a ton of games I could play on the channel, but because of my current setup, I'm not able to. I have Ark Survival currently. I haven't even opened it yet because I just can't handle it. But perhaps once I get a better setup, that will be something I can try it on the channel. I have The Forest, and I know the Sons of the Forest came out recently, but maybe I can do a playthrough of that because I do like those survival games. But I booted that one up, and the menu alone was just horrible. I like when I turned the settings all the way down, it was still really bad. So I knew I wasn't gonna be able to record it anytime soon. But hey, maybe in the future that could be something I do. Um, and then what was the other one? Oh, I have the coin game. I played that one a lot. I really enjoy it, and so I don't know. Maybe I could do like a one-off or something with that, or hell, a series if people like it. Did I? Let me just make sure all of this is like clean and good before I hop off. But I think that will do it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope. Oh yeah, because I have all this to do, but we can get that next time. Oh, and the undersides. Uh, well, that's for future me's problem. Whenever I do another episode of this. Oh yeah, I guess this is a I guess this is a series now. So I have to make a new playlist on my channel, so you can find all two of the videos. But I'm sure a third will come sometime in the future. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next episode, which, like I said, if all goes according to plan, you will be watching a Hollow Knight video tomorrow and Friday. And then it's back to a normal schedule. So I hope you have a great rest of your day, and you be cool always. I don't know. I never know what to do with my outro. I don't know. Later, nerds.